Hello, everyone. My name is Isaac, and today I'm going to be talking to you about commitment. By a show of hands, who here has ever started something, but never really got around to finishing it? And I know my hand would be up if I was the one in the crowd listening to this. You see, as I mentioned, today's topic is about commitment, but it's also a commitment right now to even want to continue recording. You see, it's easy to hit that record button, but it's hard to make it to the finish line. And that comes my first point. Commitment is a race. You see, if we take Usain Bolt an example, well, Usain Bolt ran the 100 meters, but if we look at the people who are running the 5K runs or people in the long distance running, you see, it's easy for you to start the race, but it's a lot harder to continue, to go forward, to go forth to the end and complete it. And that leads to the quote. Actually, sorry. There's a quote here by John Maxwell, and it says, "Victory is given to the one who finishes, not the one who starts." That's by John Maxwell. You see, I love that quote because victory truly, you see, a lot of times when people are, if you have ever watched a race before or in the Olympics or anywhere, they usually have this gun that they use, but of course it doesn't fire bullets. It's like an airsoft. It's like it shoots, but it only releases air. So pretty much air pressure. So as soon as I shoot it, people start, and then people start clapping. You see, that's not the victory clap. That's the one that's moving you, nudging you, people nudging, hey, keep on going, keep on going. The race just started, so now let's get going. But they're not clapping because you won. I can't tell you why they're clapping. I don't know. I actually personally, I don't know why they would be clapping when you're starting, but I guess it's just a good way to say, hey, you're doing great. You just started, but let's see how you do to the end. We'll see who makes it to the end. You see, about John Maxwell's quote, how victory is shown to the one, not to the one who starts, but to the one who finishes. I think the reason why he said that, and I'll take a quick glance at it. Why? Well, if you say it right here, victory is given to the one who finishes, not the one who starts. You see, if you take that into perspective in a race, commitment is definitely plays a big part in people who do running. Let's say if somebody is not practicing, when they start the race, as I mentioned earlier, it's easy to start something, but it's hard to finish. If we take that into perspective, let me give you an example. There's this book that I've been trying to finish, and it's my driving book that I've been prolonging for a little while, but I think it's time today that I finish it. And I mean that. You guys can hold me accountable to that. So there's this book that I've been trying to finish. You see, a lot of the times when we say we'll do something, a lot of the time it starts or comes through motivation. But it's hard to stick it out. But here's the thing. A lot of the times when we start something, as I mentioned, it's a lot of the time, and when I say a lot of the time, I mean most of the time, it first starts with motivation to say, oh man, I'm feeling pumped to do it, you know? Like, let's say I'm gonna run this 5K run. Oh, they're paying you how much money? Oh yeah, we're doing this race. I feel pumped, you know? But then when they say the distance, oh, just 100, the 100-meter race. Let's say they thought it was the 100-meter race. And they're saying, oh, you're paying me that much money to run that short distance? Oh, I got it. Let's do this. But then as soon as they say that 5K run, you're all like, I don't know about that. But when you're getting into something and you know all the details, you see, a lot of the time, it doesn't matter what the details are. You're just in it to start it. But we need commitment in our lives. You see, as mentioned before, it's so easy to start something. I can't emphasize that enough. It's so easy to start something, but it's so hard to finish it. See, there's this quote in the book I Choose, and it says, commitment is a choice. If everyone starts, few finish. The difference can be described in one word: commitment. That's the difference between a daydreamer and a dream achiever. Dreams are free, but the journey isn't. And you can switch that journey with race. The race isn't, the journey isn't. To continue, your mind can take you anywhere you want to go and allow you to do anything you want, but only action will allow you to achieve what your mind desires. The cool thing about that quote is that it says the first four words, in fact, it says, everyone starts, few finish. They don't say everyone starts, a lot finish, few drop out. No, few finish. Like I mentioned earlier, it's so easy to start something, but not finish it. Like that driving book. I remember one time I was like, you know what? I'm going to read this book. Remember how in the beginning I said, sometimes when we want to start something, a lot of the times it comes through motivation. But the thing I didn't tell you is that sometimes that motivation can come through procrastination. And I can tell you this on a personal level. It's so easy to say, and this is where sometimes my motivation comes. And then when the time comes to actually do it, let me just get to it, what I was saying. A lot of times, like when I was reading that driving book, you know what? I'll say this, you know what? I'll start the book tomorrow and hopefully I'll finish tomorrow. When I say hopefully, I mean, yeah, I think you get the gist. But what I'm trying to say is that when I say I'll start tomorrow, that is procrastination. And that is where sometimes the motivation comes. But when it's time to start, we'll all start. Actually, sometimes it's even hard to get into it. You see, it's really, sometimes that's where your commitment is. Your commitment is in the procrastination. You know what? It's easy to say it, but it's hard to do it. And it's even harder to finish it. So when I say I'll start tomorrow, I really mean I'll think about it. So that quote by John Maxwell, victory is given to the one who finishes. I love that because have you ever ran a race before? And when I mean a race, I mean a mile run. Some of you, that's really hard. Some of you, maybe, I won't limit you, but if you've ever run a mile run before and you're running at a constant speed, a lot of times, some people who like me, who lack experience in running a mile run, is you love to bolt. And I remember in elementary school, they would make us run the mile run just to keep us fit. You know, we're young, so you got to keep these guys rolling and drain all their energy so that when they go back to class, they'll actually get to work, you know, or they're not jumping around. But long story short, when we're running the mile, I remember a lot of people, the people who start off, like personally, I'll speak for myself. I would first use all my speed in the beginning. And then when I got to the end, I was drained. But when it comes to commitment, you got to have some tactics. You don't just start off with your top speed. So I'd like to challenge you. What are you saying you will do? What are you saying? What are you starting that you know you won't finish? Or you're like, oh, what do you mean, Isaac? Well, what are we saying we'll do? Or what are we starting but are not completing? I want to challenge you today. What is something you can start today and finish, not start and cut down halfway? I want to challenge you today. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I hope I'll see you guys next time. Peace.